Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting here in the sun just kind of reading the lesson for today. And the lesson for today is a review lesson in our Course in Miracles 111. And we'll look at that in just a moment, but I was reading first again yesterday's lesson, which is just an amazing lesson. And it's the only lesson that is repeated two more times, so three in total in our Course in Miracles. And it's lesson 110, I am as God created me. And I want to just to look at you with a couple of those ideas that appear in A Course in Miracles in that lesson because they are so amazing. There is a reason that this lesson is in there three times. And the reason is because if you just believe that one thought, I am as God created you, you would have no more problems, you'll be healed and whole, eternally happy, all the good stuff, right? But it is truly that idea that you do think you change yourself, or you do think you made yourself, right? And this says, no, you are still as you were created. That hasn't changed. Regardless of what changes seem to be occurring to you in space time, you are still as God created you. And it's such an amazing lesson. It says, that thought would be enough to save you in the world if you believe that it be true. It's like when you read these lines, right, in the workbook of A Course in Miracles, I let them sink in for a moment. That one thought, I am as God created me, is enough to save me and the world. Its truth would mean that you've made no changes in yourself that have reality, nor changed the universe, so that what God created has replaced by fear and evil, misery and death. You haven't changed yourself. You can say maybe, well, this is what I've made of myself. Yeah, but it didn't affect what you really are. You are still as God created you. You haven't changed yourself, right? Nothing has happened, but that you put yourself to sleep, right? This is a dream you're dreaming. But you are still perfect and whole as God created you. That hasn't changed. If you remain as God created you, fear has no meaning. Think about that for a moment. He doesn't say you won't be fearful. No, fear is what the human condition is, right? You are here because you are fearful, right? You have denied your own identity. You have lost contact with your source, right? You seem to be separate from it, right? In a world of your own making where you're at the mercy of everything that happens to you. No, the human condition is one of fear. But if you remain as God created you, fear is meaningless. Why? Well, if you remain as God created you, you are love, and there is only love. Fear is the opposite of love. That doesn't exist. It's meaningless, right? Evil is not real, right? Look at all the evil around you in this world. It's not real. Huh? And misery and death do not exist. Misery and death do not exist. Well, all I see is misery and death around me. Well, yeah, but again, they don't exist. It's not real. It's a dream, right? You have to constantly remind yourself that the world you see has nothing to do with reality. It is indeed of your own making, and it does not exist. You are the cause of what you're seeing, but none of it is real, right? Beautiful lesson. Today's idea is therefore all you need to let complete correction heal your mind and give you perfect vision that will heal. Listen to this. And give you perfect vision that will heal all the mistakes that any mind has made at any time or place. There's such a tendency to keep reading, and instead of just letting that line sink in for a moment. It's enough to let complete correction heal your mind and give you perfect vision that will heal all the mistakes that any mind, anyone, has made in all of space-time. It is enough to heal the past and make the future free. It's enough to let the present be accepted as it is. It is enough to let time be the means. I love this line. It is enough to let time be the means for all the world to learn escape from time. That's it, right? You've been given all the tools you need to escape from time, and time will keep gentle pace with you, right? It will no longer wind on wearily, but it will keep gentle pace with you in your awakening. And the only purpose of time now is to learn to escape from time. Beautiful. If you remain as God created you, appearances cannot replace the truth. Health cannot turn into sickness, nor can death be a substitute for life or fear for love. All this has not occurred if you remain as God created you. What is he trying to tell you? Nothing has happened, but that you put yourself to sleep. You're dreaming a dream of death, right? In which you seem to live out a life in this world. But none of it is so, right? It has nothing to do with reality. You are still whole and perfect as God created you. You need no thought but this one, to let redemption come, to light the world and free it from the past, right? In this one thought is all the past undone, the present safe to quietly extend into a timeless future, right? If you are as God created you, then there has been no separation of your mind from his, right? That's just a beautiful expression. Like, listen, truth is true and nothing else is true, right? Nothing has occurred. You are still whole and perfect as God created you, except you're dreaming a dream of death. And we invite you to wake up from that dream by training your mind to learn to think in an entirely new way. Because what? Your thoughts have all the power in the world, correct? There is no such thing as a neutral thought. So the whole world you see is the result of your thoughts of separation, right? Now we're learning to step back from that way of thinking and let it be corrected by the miracle that intercedes between our thoughts, right? And many of you have had that experience where you're struggling, right? You're in fear, and you're practicing lesson, and suddenly we're like, right? And it was gone. And you go like, well, where did it go? Well, it didn't go anywhere, right? That correction occurred. And that's the miracle. That's the correction. A miracle is a correction. So this is just an incredibly beautiful and fundamental lesson in our Course in Miracles. I am as God created me. If you were to accept that thought wholly, you're at the end of your own time association with yourself. It's that simple. It's over, right? How does the world end? In laughter, right? In laughter. It doesn't end as an apocalyptic event or anything. No, it ends in laughter because you recognize that, what? You're still as God created you. Nothing has happened, right? This was a dream. It was nothing. The review lessons, the lessons for today are beautiful. And I love what he kind of says here, the idea that you may miss or skip a practice period, but let that be because it really wasn't well suited for your practicing, not because you actually use it as a guise for not practicing because you didn't feel like it, right? I love that. The way he says it is, let me try to find it here. Learning will not be hampered when you miss a practice period because it is impossible at the appointed time, right? But learning will be hampered when you skip a practice period because you are unwilling to devote the time to it that you're asked to give, right? Unwillingness can be most carefully concealed behind the cloak of situations that you cannot control. Learn to distinguish situations that are poorly suited to your practicing from those that you establish to uphold and camouflage for your unwillingness. Right? You can say, well, I didn't have time to practice because this and this and this. Or are you actually just making an excuse for not practicing, right? Beautiful. And he just kind of basically tells you how to practice here, right? As soon as you can, make up for the missed practice periods. And it says, place the ideas within your mind and let it use them as it chooses. Place them within your mind and let it use them as it chooses. Give it faith that it will use them wisely, being held by its decisions by the one who gave the thoughts to you. What can you trust but what is in your mind? Have faith in these reviews. The means the Holy Spirit uses will not fail, right? The wisdom of your mind will come to your assistance. Give direction at the outset, then lean back in quiet faith, and let the mind employ the thoughts you gave as they were given to you. to use, right? Like, in other words, don't worry about anything. Just practice the thought for the day and trust that it will be used the way it's supposed to be used by your mind. Because this is indeed a systematic mind training. This is not just some haphazard lessons that Jesus' mind, right, from out of time gave to you who apparently, right, still live in time. But instead, this is a carefully planned, systematic mind training to free you from time. Right? That's A Course in Miracles. It's a way for you to free yourself from the bondage of space-time. Through that, you will remember who you are. Right? Beautiful. Wow. You've been given them in perfect trust, in perfect confidence that you would use them well, in perfect faith that you would see their messages and trust them for yourself. Offer them to your mind in that same trust and confidence and faith. It will not fail. It is the Holy Spirit's chosen means for your salvation. I love the fact that in A Course in Miracles, they continuously tell you that you can't fail at this. Because what? Failure has been your constant companion, right? Everything you've done in this world has been a failure, right? Nothing has made you happy. Nothing endured. Everything faded away at some point. Even if for a moment it seemed to work, it didn't work overall, right? You've been so used to failure that now you think that God is going to fail in his plan to save you, right? That the Holy Spirit can't possibly, succeed with his plan. Love it, right? So again, it's that other way of thinking. Beautiful, right? Beautiful lessons. Yeah, so the lesson for today. Here's another thing before we go to the lessons of the day. It says, do not repeat the thought and lay it down. Its usefulness is limitless to you. I love it. Any lesson in A Course in Miracles, regardless of what the lesson is, has in it the complete potential to immediately set you free, right? The fact that you give a multiple lesson is simply due to the fact that you're never wholly accepting the thought, right? But really all you need is one wholly perfect thought. Its usefulness is limitless to you, and it is meant to serve you in all ways, all times and places, and whenever you need help in any kind. It's like you always think, well, certain thoughts work in certain situations but not in other, right? Or that there are limits on the thoughts of salvation. And again, right, this new way of thinking tells us that this is not true. There are no exceptions, right? There are no exceptions to I am as God created me, right? There are no exceptions to what this thought can do. So it's so beautiful that he kind of instills in us the idea that any thought given in this Course in Miracles its potential is limitless to you. Its beneficence is limitless to you. Its usefulness is limitless to you. So beautiful. Then the review lessons for today are miracles are seen in light, and miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. And this is so true, right? First of all, light and strength, right? If you feel the light of God within you, that's strength as a result of that, right? They're the same thing, right? Light and strength are one. Miracles are seen in light. What does light mean? Light means that the truth has made its abode with you. You've let the light of God in, and your mind now is in light. Call it enlightenment, call it salvation, call it whatever you like, right? But that particular light now instills in you the awareness that the miracle is available to you. It's available to you at any time, in any situation, at any place. And all it is that correction, right? And it will appear to you in the form most useful to you, right? But yeah, that miracle, that correction is always available, right? Miracles are seen in light. If you're not in light, you're not aware of it. But if you are, you're very much aware of it. So these are our current lessons in where we find ourselves at this point in time, in our Course in Miracles, in our workbook. But truly, whenever you're watching this video, these thoughts can be used regardless of what place and time you find yourself. Again, there are no exceptions to it, right? Its usefulness is limitless to you. It applies to every situation, every point in time, whenever, whatever. Huh? It's always available to you, and it applies to everything that you need help with. So that was the lesson for today. I'm glad you joined me for a moment, right? Because it's in the joining that happens, right? When we get together for a moment and we join in that thought, that's minds joining, right? A single idea can be used for minds joining. And when minds are joined, they become happy. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great, great day wherever and whenever you are. And I'll see you real soon.